There's been a news story going around that you may have seen.
Christchurch senior pastor Doug Wilson makes no apologies for his beliefs on God and country.
I'd like to see the town be a Christian town. I'd like to see the state be a Christian state. I'd like to see the nation be a Christian nation. I'd like to see the world be a Christian world.
And now Wilson's controversial views as a Christian nationalist are gaining sway in the nation's center of power with the recent opening of his new church and high-profile parishioners like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Now, if you go and watch the whole video, or if you've seen it already, you know that Wilson makes some very troublesome statements. But I don't find them worth going into right now because, to be frank, they're not representative of biblical Christianity. One thing in the video is far from cringe, though, and that's Christian nationalism. Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of Defense, attended that newly opened church near Capitol Hill and posted the CNN clip adding the caption, "All of Christ for all of life." Now, there's plenty of examples of politicians appealing to Christians with phrases like, "We need to make our nation more Christian." But we should be cautious when it comes from the mouths of political leaders. Even if Wilson or any politician has sound theology and Christianity, we should not want Christian nationalism as a way to spread the gospel. Now, if you don't know, Christian nationalism is the belief that the government should be used to impose Christian values and morals on the population. If you are a Christian, that might sound reasonable. Why not make laws and build the nation on Christian ethics? After all, Jesus told us to go and make disciples of all nations. The motivation to see more people saved, of course, is a good motivation, but Christian nationalism is a mistake. Christianity is not a political system or culture that you can use to weaponize. You end up reducing the strength of the gospel to change lives. The focus turns into changing one's politics and not their heart. Jesus could have called down legions of angels to enforce his authority on the world. But Jesus didn't choose that path. But why not? Why didn't he enforce his will on the world? Why didn't he ask his followers to go and gain positions of political power? Wouldn't this make the world a better place? Maybe for a time, but in the end it would be detrimental because you would create a people not willing to follow Christ. They would worship because they had to, not because they wanted to. I think Christian nationalism today is becoming more popular because people think that secularism is taking over the country. Christianity has been declining for years, although some say it is leveling off now. But some believers think that legislation is the way to take back the church. Legislation is a way to make more people Christian in the country. The problem with that, though, is the church doesn't need worldly institutions to grow. When Jesus was before Pilate, he asks if Jesus was a king. He responds, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would have been fighting, that I might not be delivered over to the Jews. But my kingdom is not from this world." Jesus here is making it clear that he is a kind of king. He's telling Pilate that he is a king. But his kingdom is not earthly, it's heavenly. His mission is not to seize Rome, because kingdoms on this earth rise and fall. The reality is the church will grow regardless of the political power or the culture of the time. Christianity has often spread the fastest under persecution. In the first century, martyrs were its greatest witness. Some of you may be thinking that I am saying that Christians should not be involved in politics, and that's not what I'm saying. There's a difference between the government should enforce Christian values and I'm voting this way because I'm a Christian. Our priority as Christians should be spreading the gospel, not securing political dominance. Instead of making the government Christian, we should be making people Christian. The world will follow after. When Jesus walked on the earth, he could have used his power to subdue the world, but he chose to be rejected and crucified for you, not to rule over you by force, but to transform you through love. Stripped, beaten, and nailed to a cross, he died to take your sins. Buried with them, he rose again, not to gloat in his power, but to seek out those who could be changed by his love. The gospel has always been about love, and it will never need political power to change the world.